Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham AFC from the point of view of long-term fans and new fans.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome to episode 62 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. If you're new to the show, welcome. Everyone is welcome here. Everyone is welcome. If you are new to the show, there's another 61 episodes you need to catch up on. So if you wanna crack on and do that,
and lots of TikToks and stories and everything.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But if you head over to our YouTube channel, if you would give us a like on some of the videos and subscribe to the channel, that would be much appreciated. We are very close to 1,000 subscribers at the moment. We're just eager to get over that line, as it's very much a milestone for us, isn't it?
Definitely.
And we're waiting to get there. So, Welcome to Wrexham started again this week. You were so excited. I work shifts, so I was in work 2 till 10 in the afternoon on the afternoon shift. Sian obviously works in the morning, so I wasn't allowed to watch it.
I'd work longer than just the morning.
No, you know what I mean. You work 8 till 4, so we cross over, and I wasn't allowed to watch it in the morning. Equally, Sian wasn't allowed to watch it until I got home, and we both stuck to that, didn't we?
Oh well, I don't know.
I did. I definitely stuck to that. I didn't watch it.
I was trying to distract myself, like
yeah,
playing on my phone, watching other stuff on the telly,
Yeah.
and then it was waiting for you to have a shower and finish, wasn't it, when you came down?
It was. It was. Yeah, definitely. So it's centered around sort of the visit of I was going to say Prince Charles. Not that anymore, is he?
No.
King Charles.
No.
What do you see as the importance of him visiting? I mean, it's a bit different now. We know what we know with the Levelling Up Fund and everything. But at the time, what did you see as the importance of him coming?
I just think it was important because he is obviously the King of England. He's not the King of Wales. He's the King of... He was the Prince of Wales.
Yeah,
It's a very...
we needed him. Ultimately.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, he's not the king. He's not the King of Wales, but I think we needed that sort of presence at the club, and obviously all those people that are like mad monarchists and stuff like that who love.
Is that a word?
I don't know. It is now.
Yeah,
Dictionary.
monarchists. Yeah.
Monarchanists. I think that they would obviously may not know who Wrexham were.
Yeah.
But obviously they're a fan of the Prince and possibly the Queen
King.
Court. Did I say the Prince?
Yeah.
The King. Oh my God, it's so difficult, isn't
Yeah.
it? And the Queen Consort. So they probably maybe watch the news with him on it and then go, oh, what's this about? Yeah. And then, do you know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, I just think it's really how close the monarchy are and the government are, and we've got an application in with the government for a levelling up fund, you know, as was discussed in the documentary, you know, £20 million was part of it, and it's... So I think they've done everything they can to try and get
Didn't
that
help.
It didn't help, no, but I tell you what
Sadly.
I loved. I tell you what I did love is the effort that Rob and Ryan went to make sure that everything went well. You know, they really put the effort. I'm not stupid enough to think that some of that wasn't just for the cameras and just for the documentary. I get that. But I genuinely sort of felt that they wanted to put that effort in to make sure that everything went right, and it was really funny.
I don't stand, I ride.
Yeah, it was, you know, and I like that about them, and well, I love that about them, that they're willing to put in the effort to make sure that everything is exactly as it needs to be to move the club
I don't
forward.
think they could have done any more. If I'm honest, you know, and Sean Harvey and all that, you know, I think they did their best.
One thing from it, why didn't we get a cop barrier? Why haven't we got a cop barrier in the garden?
I don't know.
I
think, to be honest, I think you had to be within the Wrexham Trust clip.
Maybe.
To get one.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, that's probably why we haven't got one.
Look, go good in our garden, that would. I have to keep an eye out for them on eBay, I reckon.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely want one. So the levelling up fund, we sort of talked about that. We didn't get that. We got left in limbo a little bit. As we know, there's been other problems with regards to the COP, and it hasn't started. But we've torn the COP down. We are ready to start when we're ready to start. Ultimately,
I think it's probably mostly finance now, isn't it?
I remember when the COP came down, and I thought it was quite sad. I did.
I don't think you're the only one.
No, because I remember going to games as a kid, standing on that COP, and it's sort of sad. It's weird, isn't it? Because you know something better's coming, but at the same time, it's like, but. Can we just keep it? You can't keep it forever because you've got to move forward. But
you've got your memories, haven't you?
You've got your memories, and let's move on.
You've got your memories, darling.
A few other things from the documentary. Well, the Chesterfield game, I think, was the key thing out of the documentary that we left to. I tell you what I find myself doing. I know how the season turns out. I was there, but. When you're watching like highlights of games, and I'm sure it'll happen at other games that they show on the documentary, you're watching it and you just find yourself sitting there shaking your head. Going, oh God, we're never going to go up at this rate. We're never going to go up playing like this, are we? Well, we know what happens.
We obviously did.
We know what happens in the documentary, but I just find myself, I think it's so clever the way it's made that even for someone like me and you, who were there, and we went to these games and we watched them win and we watched them lose. When they do lose, you just find yourself drawn back in, as if you're there again. And I just
reliving it, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
think it is absolutely fascinating. But yeah, Welcome to Wrexham. It's available on FX, Disney Plus, Hulu, wherever you are in the world. I just Google it. I mean, let's be honest, it's bloody everywhere. It's annoying people as well, which I love even more, that it's annoying people, other fans. Bloody Wrexham, yeah.
But haven't Sheffield United just done that? They've moaned about it, but I'm sure they've just done a documentary, or they're doing a documentary.
I don't think they moaned about it. I think
Billy Sharp
moaned about it, but I don't think...
No, I'm sure somebody else from Sheffield United's had an interview and moaned about it.
Who cares?
In your face, Sheffield United.
Oh, yeah, that was unlucky, wasn't it? Conceding 2 goals in the 98th and 100th minute yesterday. Never mind. Anyway, I know, I don't want to start some beef with Sheffield United.
No,
you.
It's not the fans.
No, it's not.
It's not the fans, it's just Billy Sharp.
And he's not even there anymore.
So, yeah.
I apologise for that comment.
My beef is with Billy, not with Sheffield United fans.
My beef is with Billy. Anyway, a little bit more news. Mark Howard graduated with a first-class honours degree in professional sports writing and broadcasting.
It's been a good week for Mark Howard, I think.
It has. So that was a massive congratulations to Mark on that.
Considering you're a professional goalkeeper, you're
training every day,
and you've still managed to do something as amazing as that.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. Well done.
And also congratulations to Wrexham women, who won their final pre-season game 7-1 against AFC Crewe. By the time this goes out, they will have played their first game of the season in the Adram Premier. As everyone knows who's regular on the show, we film on Sunday. Their game is on Sunday, so unfortunately we don't know what the result is. So again,
I'm sure it'll be a smasher like 7-1 for them again.
It's a tough game. They're playing Swansea. Very tough.
They'll be good.
Right, let's talk about Grimsby.
Okay. Oh my God. I talk about games and I get so excited, but yesterday was just on another level.
It definitely was.
It was amazing. We had the minute silence at the start of the game.
We did.
Which everybody respected and was silent for the whole minute. And kudos to the Grimsby fans as well. I mean, it wasn't just about the Gresford disaster.
No, so we've had quite a few people getting in touch about this, haven't we?
Yeah. The black armbands.
Yes. So for a lot of people, so there was a mining disaster in Wrexham, in a village called Gresford in 1934. So this week marks the 89th anniversary of that. So every year, we always have a minute's silence to pay respect to that. In conjunction with that, this year, there's been obviously natural disasters in Marie Morocco and Libya as
Yeah.
well. So it was a minute silence for all three of them events. All of the players wore black armbands. Ryan Reynolds wore a black armband as well when he was in the stand. A lot of people have got in touch to say, what is the black armband about? Well, the black armband basically is a show of respect. But I wrote this down here. So black armbands are worn to signify mourning, respect, remembrance, or commemoration. So it doesn't have to be. It could be the death of a local person, the death of somebody connected with the club. It could be just something local like the Gresford mining disaster that happened many years ago that we commemorate that. It could be a national thing, an international thing. There are lots of reasons why, but it's a respect thing or a commemoration or a remembrance thing. That's why we wear black armbands.
I'm just glad that everybody observed it. God, I can't speak, because it's, the Gresford mining disaster. Obviously, horrific things happen in Libya and Morocco, but obviously for us, being from Wrexham...
well, I had family who died in the Gresford mining disaster.
I'm sure I did as well, but...
Yeah, and I think...
my granddad worked there.
Yeah, a lot of people will know somebody.
Definitely. So
maybe not know as such, but will be aware of somebody within their family.
Just the sad thing is, they mentioned, didn't they, that the guys who were working that shift, a lot of them, had swapped for Wrexham fans to go and watch Tranmere at the race
I know,
course.
so they weren't even supposed to be there on that day.
It's just, for anybody losing their life in such a way is just horrendous, but...
not being disrespectful either, but there is, at a game, there is nothing like the cheer that you get in a ground after a minute silence either. That is I would say, one of the biggest cheers that you get. It's silent for a whole minute, and then the ref blows his whistle and the whole place erupts, and it's always massive. And I always think that's definitely something that's like sort of makes you go, oh, I'm at a game.
It was a good one yesterday, to be fair.
We met someone, didn't we? We met Ryan Reynolds at the game on Saturday, which was an absolute pleasure.
For all the women out there, he smells amazing.
He does. He does. I shook his hand. We had a little chat with him.
I put my arm around him. Oh my God.
We had a photo with him. He was lovely. The photo of us with him is on our social media. The photo of us with him is also on his social media as well.
But the picture that was taken of us was obviously by the photographer of Wrexham, and it's a lot better quality than ours. It's just from a different angle. So that was on his Instagram. It's also now on his Twitter and also on his Facebook.
It was great. It was nice to finally meet the man, because we've wanted to meet him for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
And meeting him was an absolute pleasure. So
it's so weird, because we've had a couple of people, like, we put it on Instagram. It was on his Instagram, and people were like tweeting messages on Instagram or tagging us on accounts that we've not used for a long time, and it's like, oh my God, how is that? Oh, and then we've gone onto our accounts and gone, oh my God, I don't remember that. So
there was one Twitter account somebody tagged me. And it's a Twitter account I had years ago that I didn't even...
2015? Was that the last time you tagged?
The last time I posted on it.
Posted on it?
I've got hundreds of followers on there, so I might start using that one, because it's a lot more than my current
account. I think 2012 was...
2012? What was that? What year's that? That is a long way in the future.
2012. Obviously, when Alfie was born, that's the last time I posted on there. Well, so that was 11 years ago.
Anyway, about the game.
Yes.
That's enough about Ryan Reynolds. Hayden was back.
Do you know what? I'm glad.
Big shock. Wasn't expecting.
It was a shock.
I tell you what the club do at the moment. They're doing very well. They're keeping very secret about people's injuries and how long they're off for. We had it with Mullin. Everyone was like, oh my God, Mullin's back. We've had it with Hayden this week. Parky'd been asked directly about Hayden this week, and he was very much, it's not too long, it's not going to be weeks and weeks and weeks.
It was a week.
Next Saturday comes, and he's there, and he's back
and
in the team.
All right.
Yeah, he played the full game. Excellent, really happy. Paul started, obviously, the game, which again was a little bit, I'm so happy that he's back in that team. I think Now, don't shoot me down. I think he's slightly off the pace a little bit.
He's bound to be.
He's still got all his running about him. He had a few shots, and they were a little bit tamer than what you would normally expect. He didn't quite have his accuracy.
Apprehension, that though, isn't it? It's got
maybe a little bit, but you know he's getting there. He did a lot more in the game on Saturday than I felt he did in the half an hour of the game before, and I just think it's going to keep getting better and better for him. So
when obviously McLean was on the pitch, Mullen was on the pitch. I was just waiting for Fletcher to come on the pitch, and I just thought.
I'll ask you about Fletcher in a minute
Okay.
when we get to that point, because I've got a couple of questions about Fletcher that I'm interested to get your point of view. But you mentioned McLean there, so McLean got booked after 5 minutes, and I was like, oh my God, because he's got that aggression and he's a very physical player, and I was quite worried about him playing 85 minutes on a yellow card. Really, it did worry me. But consummate professional, never dived in again after that, maintained that level of physicality and aggression. What did you make of his performance on Saturday?
He worked his socks off. You could tell, you could tell how much he ran. And, when he was, obviously when we changed ends after half time, he was on our side.
Yes.
So we kind of got to see him a little bit more and what he was made of.
Yeah.
And he was so quick on the ball. His passes were amazing.
Yeah.
I can't fault him. I just think he's such a good signing for Wrexham.
I think I'm in love with him.
A little bit. Hayden?
I still like...
So is Hayden your wife, but McLean's your mistress?
McLean's catching my eye, let's put it like that. It definitely.
Where do I come down this? Where am I in
you're
the pecking order?
You're not in this one. No. This is a not in real life scenario.
Well, obviously.
I think he is fast. He very quickly.
Oh my God! You can't even speak.
Very quickly becoming a massive fan favourite. And somebody asked after the Tranmere game. I saw somebody ask on Twitter, how long does it take? How long before you can declare someone a club legend? And he said, is it too soon?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. He's getting there.
I think Mullen was pretty quick, to be fair.
He was. And I think if he keeps putting in these performances, I mean...
What if he takes over Mullen and they get a song? They have got a song with McLean.
They have got a song, yeah.
What happens if they go, we're not going
to sing it, but...
We don't want you, Mullen. We want McLean. Oh, no.
No. He's just superb. Everything about him, I think, is...
Talking of McLean, he was on the Late Late Show on Friday with Patrick Kilty. And he openly, and he's never been on there before, and he openly and honestly, not admitted, announced that he is on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Which I think is so important for people that are like that in the public eye.
Yeah.
Like Paul Mullen's, obviously his son has autism, and you've got the likes of Millie Tippin, who, they're all champions of, getting the word out there about autism. I just think it's so important.
Yeah.
And they're all, just all amazing people.
Yeah, definitely. I think he did such an amazing thing because his daughter was having sort of like tests for autism, and she was a little bit worried about doing it. So James had said, I'll do the tests as well, and they'd come back that he was on the spectrum as well. Yeah, he is. He's great. I love him.
Dear.
So Palmer scored.
He did.
I just feel that was important for him to get
100%.
Do you think he should be getting more?
I do, but he got one. He got us off the mark.
He did. I just think he needs to start chipping in a bit more regularly.
I did a post yesterday of obviously the full time, the score, and all that kind of stuff on our socials, and I said, I don't think we can fault any of the players' performances yesterday.
No.
I think everyone had their place, had their, their, I can't think of the word, their.
I don't know what you're trying to say. Don't ask me.
Part.
Yeah.
That's not the word, but that's sort of the word I'm talking. They had their part to play in us getting 3-0. And I just love them all.
Yeah, I mean, Will Boyle got the second. It was an amazing header. It was. And I mean, it was a lot better than I've watched a replay of it a few times. It was a lot better than it first appeared. To get the sort of direction and the power that he did, the way that he was angling and going away from goal, it was such a good goal.
I think it's difficult when you're watching it live. To get
you don't
like
get
the
a replay,
full,
do you?
You don't get a replay, but also as well you don't get the benefit of like the angle and things like that. So it is even though you're there live, it is always good just to kind of reflect on the highlights.
Yes, Luke Young back in the team again. I mean, it wasn't that long ago we were talking about, is Luke Young ever going to play for us ever again?
Well, can I just say that was all for your part?
But I think it was a fair thing to sort of, it was the way people were playing in them positions. We were sort of looking, going, I fear for Luke because I can't see him getting back in this team. And now, we're 7-8 games in, and he just looks immovable.
He is.
I can't imagine him not playing now. I just can't. I can't imagine him not being on that team sheet week in, week out, the way that he's playing. So that's good. Happy at half-time? 2-0 up, yeah?
I was, yeah.
Yeah?
I was ecstatic. I think I was just on a high from, like, the fact that I put my arm around Ryan Reynolds. And, yeah, I thought everybody's performance was brilliant, like I said.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was chuffed a bit at half-time.
I think, after Doncaster, where they came out and they put a bit of pressure on and we sort of buckled the week before, I think this week... we were on it. We didn't make that same mistake. They did try to impose, and we just shut them down, and we didn't let them. Mullin nearly made it 3-0 with the absolute sexiest of through balls from James McLean. It was just pure filth.
I'm worried about you.
It was the through ball. I've never seen a through ball like it around the corner. Literally and it was just...
He's definitely got the skills on Ian Herbert.
It was just perfect. And I felt... And Mullin just put it past the post, and I was a little bit gutted because I think that's a goal that would have been shown for a long time, I think, because just for the through ball more than anything. But it's coming. Mullin will get there.
He will get there, and once he's got his first, you won't be able to stop him.
You won't. Elliot Lee made it 3 on 79 minutes.
What a shocker! Elliot Lee's just...
He just can't stop scoring.
No, he is immense at the minute.
He just looks like a different animal this year. He
definitely looks like an animal. He is just a beast.
He was good last year. He was that's doing a disservice. I think he was excellent last year. He was, and there were games where he stood out a million miles as the best player on the pitch. But this year, I would sort of argue he looks even better.
Yeah.
I would think
I think the whole team do.
Yeah, but I think for him, for his stats, the way he runs, he was man of the match. Well, I'll ask you about your man of the match in a bit, but he was man of the match. But I'm not going to say whatever you say is wrong, but I can't see how anybody could argue that he was the man of the match yesterday. Because it was just everything about it.
I don't disagree.
I'll ask you that in a minute. But I just thought his whole performance and the fact that he's getting goals now, that's he's right up there in the top goal scorer list for the league.
He's a whirlwind.
Yeah, absolutely. The real story, I think, of the game was probably the introduction of Brazilian Stephen Fletcher, who I'm not sure I've seen an introduction into.
Brazilian what?
Just for the skills, I mean, Brazilian. I'm not sure I've seen an introduction into it. The flicks and the tricks and the things he did were just like, everyone was just like, whoa, oh, look at that. Everything that he did was just perfect when he come on. The overhead kick.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I mean, I was so disappointed it didn't go in because it was just like, when you witness something and you go, oh, why didn't that go in? Because it would have been just the icing on the cake. But the little balls around the corner he was playing, him and Lee playing off each other, and just everything was just so good. And I think he's going to be one hell of a signing. And I've got a question for you.
Can I just do,
Yeah.
Humphrey Kerr put on his Twitter yesterday.
He did, yeah.
He said, got away with one there. Just heard from FIFA that if Fletcher's bikie had gone in, they were going to stop football forever as it had achieved perfection.
It was one of them.
It was one of them.
It
yeah.
was one of them moments.
What's the question?
My question is: so we've seen Stephen play 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday we saw him play 20 minutes. Where does it go? So
30?
Yeah.
40?
30, I think, is a good one.
Yeah.
But once you get 30 minutes in, Parky's not one for bringing subs on at half time. He's not, okay? But once he's at that fitness level where he can do 30 minutes, does he start games? And my question is, does he start instead of Palmer? Come on.
I mean, after, don't get me wrong, Palmer played amazingly on Saturday, as everyone else did. But I think just the pure, was it just, I don't know, I can't even explain it. That bikie kick thing, whatever you call it,
Bicycle
was just
kick,
pure genius.
Yeah.
And it's just so unfortunate it didn't go in.
Right.
So I would like, I've got nothing against Palmer, but I would like Fletcher to have a go at starting.
Yeah.
Just to see what he's made of. Not saying that I don't want Palmer never to start again.
No.
But I'd definitely like to see...
It's nice having all these options, though, isn't it?
It's so stressful.
The question is, though, we're now talking about who plays Fletcher or Palmer when they're both fully fit. But what does this mean for Sam Dalby, do you think, moving forward?
I don't know. It's again, I mean, he's been named in the 22 squad, hasn't he?
Yeah, of course he has.
So...
But my point is, he's not on that level. He's not on... I don't think he's... the way Ollie bullies defences... Sam can't do that.
No.
Yet. He can't do that yet.
Yeah, but
he can learn, but he can't do that. And the stuff that Stephen Fletcher can do, he can't do that either. But equally, I think Stephen Fletcher can bully defences and he can do more than Ollie can do. So it's just an age and a fitness thing. That's the thing with Stephen. So
I think, if Sam Dalby's got the likes of Paul... Ollie and Stephen, to learn from.
Exactly, yeah.
Can you imagine, what that player would be like?
Yeah.
That could be Sam Dalby.
Yeah.
Fletcher, Palmer, and Mullen, all blended together, equals Sam Dalby.
He's still young.
He's still young. That could
Sponge.
be a sponge.
Sponge.
He could be a force to be reckoned with.
Just a quick shout out for Mark Howard. That's 3 clean sheets in 6 games in all competitions. A very good performance.
I messaged Mark Howard.
Yeah. It was excellent. Everything about it was excellent. I thought he was very good. I do sometimes wish he'd come for balls a little bit more. I think there's a few crosses that I'd maybe like to see him being a bit more aggressive and coming out for. But all in all, you can't fault 50% clean sheets, I don't think.
So I messaged, I commented on a picture that he'd put on. I just said basically congratulations from us for his degree, and also he was awesome yesterday, and he liked it.
Good.
So yeah.
Quickly, man of the match.
I've said Ryan Barnett.
Yeah.
I know he made a few mistakes, but I think overall he was.
Yeah,
I thought he was good.
So we're up to 4th in the table.
Yes.
We're motoring on now.
We are.
Quick rundown of our next game, which is Stockport County, which is on Saturday the 23rd of September. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff, which is obviously available for international fans on iFollow. It's at Edgeley Park, which is 51 miles away, or just over an hour, because you like that. They were promoted from the National League as champions in 2022 when we finished second and then lost in the playoffs to Grimsby. Our last 3 games, all in the 21-22 season, we lost 2-1 away. We won 3-0 at home and 2-0 at home in the semi-final of the FA Trophy at the racecourse. They won 2-1 away at MK Dons on Saturday. So they've won 3, drawn 2, lost 3, and they're currently 13th on 11 points. They finished 4th last season on 79 points from 46 games. And they missed out on automatic promotion to League One by just 4 points. And then they lost in the playoff final against Carlisle on penalties. From memory, I think only one player missed a penalty in that. I think they lost it 5-4.
Oh my God, can you imagine being that player?
Oh, sell him. Their top scorer last season was Carl Wooten with 14. Top scorer this season's Louis Barry with 4. Predictions?
Predictions. 2-1
to Wrexham.
Same again.
I'm gonna go for 2-0.
Yeah?
I fancy us keeping clean sheets now, forever, for the rest of the season.
The rest of our lives.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with.
So we're basically going with what we went for the Grimsby game.
Yeah. Which we're also wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So 3. I'll take 3-0. If I'm wrong and it's 3-0, I'll take that.
Absolutely, 100%.
So we got a guest on. We had a guest last week, the same guest. We recorded an interview with them. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we lost the recording for that. So he has very kindly agreed to come back on the show. So it is much appreciated for doing that, because yeah, we had an absolute nightmare last week with this, and we're so happy that he was able to come back on the show and have another chat with us, because I don't know what we'd have done.
I think it was definitely important for him to be on.
Yes,
definitely.
It is. So we would like to welcome to the show Ian Herbert. So welcome to the show, Ian. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. It's great to be on the show. I'm a big fan of it. So thanks for having me on.
Not a problem at all. Thank you for coming on. So Ian's got a book.
He has.
So Ian has written a book called Tinseltown, Hollywood and the Beautiful Game, a match made in Wrexham. So how did this book come about, Ian? Are you a Wrexham fan?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my family live in Chirk, about 5 miles from Wrexham, and I've sort of really followed the club since the late 70s, really. So and obviously there's been periods where I've seen more games than others, but and I suppose a bit like yourselves, sort of known the ups and downs, and I suppose I just, what struck me was the way that town seemed to be changing as well as the club. The kind of confidence that that in a kind of a slightly indefinable way that Rob and Ryan's arrival and the club's success seemed to be having on the town. So yeah, I wanted to write a book about that, but I wanted to really write a book which was more about town than the tinsel, really. I think there's quite a bit about Rob and Ryan, and obviously it's a fascinating period in our history, but I think a lot of people seem to assume that we were kind of a damsel in distress as a club or a town needing rescuing, but there's loads of brilliant stuff and loads of brilliant people in town who have played a part in making it the place it is, and preserving it and building it. And I wanted to tell their story too.
So whilst you were writing the book, who did you meet along the way?
Well, I met, I should say, first of all, quite a lot of people who've been involved in the actual deal, Rob and Ryan's deal to buy the club, and those who have been perhaps more in the margins or in the shadows, but have been really important kind of people in driving things forward. I'm thinking about people like a brilliant guy called Steve Horowitz, who's a financier, works for a company called Inner Circle Sports, who brought the club and Rob and Ryan together, really, and was part of that search for a club which went on over a number of months. And of course, as we all know, there were other clubs in contention. And George Dewey, who is Ryan's business partner, who's an important part of a company called Maximum Effort, which some people might not be so aware of, but that is the creative engine of what we see at the club now in terms of Rob and Ryan's output, and a lot of those funny videos and just great exchanges. That's all about them. So also some brilliant people, probably more important than anyone are the people who've actually, from the Wrexham end of things, who a lot of your viewers outside of Wrexham might not know an awful lot about, but the absolute lifeblood of our town. I'm thinking about, in terms of the Wrexham Supporters Trust, Spencer Harris, who I think is the real hero of this story. It was his work behind the scenes that ensured that the club was passed into good hands, but also people who are at the actual fulcrum of the town. You could name any of them. Josh Williams at Wrexham Lager, for example, who's just done just fantastic stuff in terms of just kind of promoting the club and the town. and Leslie Griffiths, Mark Jones, you name them. Yeah. There are so many people who played a huge part in Wrexham's evolution. It's not just about a couple of American guys coming in and saving it.
No, definitely. I'm always quite interested in, because I think there's an author in me somewhere, and I've been desperately trying to find it for about 30 years, and it hasn't come out yet.
Not too late.
It's not. No, definitely not. But when you're writing a book, how long this book, for example, how long did it take for you to sort of get it to a point where you go, I've got a piece of work that I can put out there?
Yeah, I'd say about a year start to finish in terms of, the processes, trying to kind of work out what the book looks like and what, what it's going to kind of contain. Because I've been a journalist and written about sport and communities and news for years, and it's easy to write. You can write a very long feature article which runs to 5,000 words. That's one thing, but a book's something different. So how's it going to be structured? And then when you've actually structured it, you need to sort of decide. You need to try and find out if someone wants to publish it and if there's an actual market for it. Because I've certainly come up with ideas for books over the years that no one's actually interested in apart from me. And then there's the writing of it itself, I suppose, and it's just a balance between literally sitting down and doing the writing, but making sure you actually speak to the right number of people. And some of that process is just pure chance. You just don't. You're never quite sure. One person leads you to another, and you stumble into touch with people. A great mate of mine called Steve Lloyd, who I used to play cricket with in Chirk years ago, and I didn't realise until this process just what a huge part he's been, for example, in the Wrexham Supporters Trust, and is still very much involved in the mental health side of things. You might know Steve or have spoken to him. So been some great connections, and then I realised that Steve was a good mate of Mark, and it's a small town and people know each other, and so there's that process, and it's just important, I suppose, to do enough of the talking to people to get enough information in to be able to tell the story.
So obviously the book has been released now. So how has the reaction been in the early stages of its release?
Yeah, it's been good, thanks, Sean. I mean, you're never quite sure with these things. When I write my sports articles for the paper, I kind of know fairly quickly, because if I criticise a club, I usually get the fans onto me. But I think it probably means most to me that people in town seem to feel it's an okay representation of town, because I live in Manchester now. I've not lived in the area for a long time, and I think there's a slight sense of not wanting to sort of be kind of descending on a place and professing to know all about it, and when you don't. And I rely on a lot of people, well, yourselves included. I talked to you as part of the process, and that was a real pleasure. So talking to people about all the nuts and bolts of what this incredible adventure's been like, and I've not had people coming back and saying it wasn't right what you wrote. So I don't think I've not discovered yet I've misrepresented anyone. So yeah.
No,
Definitely not.
I think what's really interesting about what makes it just a fantastic story to write, really, is that and I think you guys are a reflection of this, and your work is a reflection of this. Is that I've been writing about sport for about 15 years, and I've been in journalism for even longer than I care to admit. And it's always been really, sport's been a very much blokes writing for blokes, the same constituency, a little bit of an echo chamber, everybody feeling the same kind of passions and emotions. And, but I think it's not, I think one of the things that has kind of just innately come through in the process of this book is that there are just so many women who are part of the narrative, and I know there are lots of women who have been part of the narrative all along, but, and I suppose I am thinking about people like you, Sean, and Gemma Owen, and Lily Jones, and Leslie Griffiths, who's been a big part of the club for a very long time, and Fleur Robinson, and it's and almost like kind of implicitly and innately, it's been a kind of more, it's a broader church than I've ever known before, writing about our sport, and that's just been what a pleasure that's been, really. get different voices. And I think what's great about your work is that, you know, you're just talking to a lot of people who, you know, are coming to Wrexham for the first time, and it's kind of it's democratic. It's not kind of, you know, an old boys club.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, definitely. That's what we. That's
That was
what,
our unique selling point, wasn't
yes.
it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it is. Yeah, yeah.
So, Ian, where can people find your book if they want to go out and buy it?
Thank you for asking me to say that. Yeah, yeah. No, so I mean, it's one of the great things has been being able to link up with other businesses, you know, independent businesses. There's a great bookshop in Oswestry called Booker, Booka. They're really one of the best independent bookshops in Wales and the Northwest, if you like. So they've got signed editions. If people are actually that bothered about me having put my pen to it, so they've been a great partner for me in that, and through their website and stuff. But also Waterstones and Amazon and stuff, all those usual places. And hoping to have a chance to perhaps meet people and talk a bit more about the book next month. Provisionally, we've got an evening at the Wrexham Memorial Hall on October the 19th. We're still putting all details of that together, but that'll be a chance to sort of talk about, you know, Wrexham and Wales and football and community and life and your podcast and all over the stuff. So, you know, that's hopeful. And then I'm doing a talk in Cardiff on Wednesday, the 20th at 7 o'clock as well, talking about the book at Waterstones in Cardiff.
That's brilliant.
So if you can get down to either of those places, do. Honestly, the book is really, really good.
Yeah.
I think I've nearly finished it, to be honest.
Yeah, the only one downside of this, Ian, I will say, is that you only sent us one book, and Sian has literally hogged it from the day that it has arrived. I haven't.
Caused marital strife to me, the wife, and Wrexham FC.
Yeah.
What an
The only
indictment
bit
of
of
me
the
that
book-
is. Yeah.
The only bit of the book that she's shown me is the bit that we're in, and that is it. I haven't had a look in. She has literally not put it down, so it is fantastic. Just away from the book for a minute, just to sort of finish off, just about the club, and obviously we're very much going in the right direction at the moment. What do you see as the realistic long-term future of Wrexham AFC?
Well, I mean, I just think that in terms of the direction of travel, I mean, you just look at the game yesterday, you know, the win against Grimsby, and you know, just looking short term for now, you look at that kind of the way we've actually continued to reinforce. So some of those kind of some of that combination play, you know, Mullin, McLean, Elliot Lee, you know, and then Stephen Fletcher coming on with what I thought was an astonishing, you know, the overhead kick and some little Brazilian flicks. And so you just sort of feel that at the moment, certainly with the way that the commercial model as it is, with Rob and Ryan, you know, being able to draw in the kind of revenues and the sponsors that they can, that we can certainly build players to get up another division fairly quickly. I think that what you're probably asking, Ryan, is about, I suppose we all feel the same, is like, how far does this go? And I sort of think you could certainly see us with this kind of structure and the kind of people who are running the football side getting to the championship. I think that, you know, that's not a ridiculous notion. I think after that, I think that's when it starts to become really complicated, because the kinds of sums of money you need to go from championship to Premier League are just so huge. And obviously within the Premier League, you've got entire, you know, Gulf state sovereign wealth funds running those clubs. So, I mean, I actually seriously question, you know, people will just say this is ridiculous, but you know, how great is it being a Premier League club? In fact, you know, because if you look at the table there now, City are just, you know, cruising away. You've got Luton and Burnley who haven't got a point. You've got Sheffield United struggling. You're going to go up there really hoping to nick the odd win. You know, so I could certainly see it get to Championship. I would imagine that to get any higher than that, you need more money. You need private equity funds to come in and provide that kind of extra support. And you know, who knows? I think what will be really interesting to see is the way that the second series, the documentary, builds the support in the US. I mean, I think the reviews for the first episode of series 2 have been phenomenal, and you know, they're just such clever filmmakers. So, I mean, you imagine that, you know, there would be more Stoke, Cold Coffee, and United, whatever. coming in, and much though it still slightly grieves me to see United on our shirt, I must say I'm still wearing the TikTok one, but you would have thought they could certainly go to the second tier of football, couldn't they? What do you think?
I'm sort of with you on that one. I think I know it's very early days in the season, but I think Luton have proved how difficult it is to transition away from league football and the sort of pitfalls of maybe developing and growing too quickly. I think Luton, as much as I've loved watching Luton's journey through the leagues, they just seem so out of their depth at the moment. And I'm sure they will pick up a few points here and there, but I'm under no illusions that they will be in the Premier League next year. I just can't see them.
You're right, yeah. So it's just a question of how good that is. I mean, I'm slightly, to be talking about whether or not we will be in the Premier League, but I do wonder about how good that really is. Experience week to week.
Well, Ian, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Can I just interrupt?
Yeah.
Would you like to know my opinion on the thing
Oh,
as
yeah,
well?
sorry. Yeah, go on. Give your opinion.
Okay, thanks. So...
Talking about old boys club and...
I know, and I literally just shut her down.
Yeah,
Let's move on.
Yeah, shut up, Sean. Well, basically, when we finished last season, I was like very much, oh yeah, we're gonna smash it next season.
Yeah.
We're going up back to back, but I think I've been hit over the head with a realistic stick.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, it's going to be difficult, but if we continue to play games like we did on Saturday, why not?
It's interesting. I think that's really interesting because I thought the same, and I think talking to sort of Les Reed and Sean Harvey at the club for the book, really, I very much sort of went into this sort of the late part of the summer with this impression that we'd already bought the players for a kind of a League Two promotion campaign, but we clearly hadn't, had we? I mean, and it hit me over the head like a stick as well, Sean, because I was abroad with work when the MK Dons game happened, but I mean, what a shocker, really. And although I do think what we're seeing in the last couple of games has been just a change in the levels of physicality. I think. I mean, I think McLean is going to be such a player for us and such an important part of it, But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Who knows? And who knows what another step would be like? What would League One be like? Who knows?
Yes.
You may continue.
Thank you. So, are you okay to hang around for the quiz, Ian? Is that
absolutely?
Okay?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right. Just a few people who've got in touch before we get on to the quiz. We had Pop Culturista on YouTube saying, Ryan, we are all glad that you're on the mend. Thank you very much. No one cares about me sometimes.
Oh, shit.
I've been waiting for this podcast because I wanted to hear your opinions on the many developments that have happened to the team since our last appearance. I'm actually very happy that it was just the two of you for this hour because there was so much to cover. Looking forward to your review of the Grimsby match. Well, you've had that now, so there you go.
Yep.
We had Michael, great episode. Honestly feel the signing of Fletcher will go down as the best of the summer window. This team isn't far off from last season's second half form. And when you look at the table, even this early, and Wrexham are not fully clicking, looks like we are going to see Notts and Wrexham push for a title again. Both seem to have it.
We've got a message from Kelly Morrison 8259. Great episode. Hope you're back to feeling 100%. Oh my God, just stop. He's fine now. He had man flu, that's all.
Sean, have you had a bit of man flu or something? Sean?
Pardon?
You had a bit of man flu or something?
Yeah.
I had COVID, I did, Ian. Yeah, thank you for asking.
Oh, he was poorly, to be fair.
I was.
He was.
Yes.
I'm very excited and equally worried every time Aaron Hayden takes to the pitch. He is so injury prone, and I don't know if it's due to the training, hydration, or it's just how it is. It worries me.
Yeah.
It worries me they will.
I didn't put the full message because it was a very long
Oh,
message.
okay.
So I stopped it at "it worries me."
Okay, great. Francis Lynch 9704. How about a message from Finland? Finns are better than Swedes anyway. Okay, controversial, but okay.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to get in touch, please get in touch on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or X, TikTok, Threads, or email us at methewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com. Just a quick shout out for Dragon Chat. It's a mental health peer support group. It's a weekly Zoom call on a Thursday from 7 p.m. till 8:30. The best thing to do, as we say every week, is follow Steve Lloyd, as Ian mentioned Steve earlier. Follow DragonChat-Steve Lloyd on Twitter, and all the information is on there. We do repost and send that out on a Thursday as well, so you can get on
As much as we can.
As much as we can when life doesn't get in the
Yes.
way. Because we'd love to do this for a job, but unfortunately we have actual jobs as well. So,
Yep.
Right, quiz time.
Okay.
Quiz time. Now,
Can I just say, everybody was saying how well I did last week on the quiz.
yeah, you did all right.
I did all right, didn't I?
You did all right,
I
yeah.
did all right.
So, we have 2 lies, 1 truth. I've got it.
Got it right.
Got it
You
nailed
got it,
now.
got it.
2 lies, 1 truth. All you have to do is pick out the truth. There we go. We've got that. I will come to Sian first, and then to Ian for an answer, and then we'll see who has the best score at the end.
Okie doke.
Okay, section 1. We are due to cross swords with Stockport County this week. Number 1. Paul Mullin has scored 5 goals against Stockport in our last 3 encounters. Number 2. The last time we played Stockport, in May 2022, Jordan Ponticelli started the game. Or number 3, the last time we played Stockport, Bryce Hosanna played the full game. He has not played a full game since.
I'm going to go with A.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Purely because I don't think... I'm sure... Oh, I don't... Yeah, I'm just going to go 1. I've
Number
had no
1?
reason by it. Just I'm going for number 1.
Ian?
Oh, that's a really tricky one, I must say. I think I might go for B. I just don't know that Jordan could have started.
Yeah, so you're going for the number 2, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually number 3.
Ah.
So Bryce Hosanna's not played a full game since that. Since May 2022, he has not played a full game for Wrexham.
Wow.
So there we go. That took a lot of work, that question.
That's a great question, if I might say so. But we both haven't got right.
Yeah.
Section 2. Great news this week that Aaron Hayden's injury was not long term. Aaron has a double-barrelled middle name. His middle names are Philip Charles, or number 2, his middle names are Edward George, or 3, his middle names are Harold Andrew.
Somewhere in the back of my brain,
1. Number
I
1,
don't
Philip
know
Charles.
why. Yeah.
Okay,
Not
Ian?
sure why.
It's a 3.
Number 3. Yep, well done. You're both wrong again. It is Edward George. It is Aaron Edward George Hayden.
Okie doke. Should we just sign off now?
It's a really tight 0-0 draw, this, Sian.
I know, yeah.
Number 3. Series 2, Episode 1 of Welcome to Wrexham aired this week. The audience rating of the first episode of Series 2 on IMDb out of 10 is 8.2, 8.7, or 9.2.
I'm going to go in the middle and say 8.7.
8.7,
Yeah.
Ian?
Well, I sort of was going to say that as well, but I'm going to just so we can... Sian and I are going to be not 0-0, or if we both got it wrong. Number 1, 8.2.
8.2. Sian, you are correct. It is 8.7. Well done.
Oh, you should have gone for B.
Number 4. On Saturday, we played Grimsby Town. But how much attention did you pay to their badge? On their badge, there is 1 star. On their badge, there is a ship with 2 flags. Or on their badge, there are 3 fish.
don't think there's going to be fish on it because that's just ridiculous. I'm going to go 1 star.
1 star?
1 star.
Ian?
The ship.
The ship? You're both wrong again. There are 3 fish. There are 3 fish on the Grimsby badge. There is a ship, but it only has 1 flag.
This
so,
is horrendous.
This is pretty poor, yeah.
I'm looking more pressure here than you, Sean, because I'm now looking at basically a 0 score here at this stage, with only 1 more question to go.
Final one.
Okay.
How much were you paying attention to the news coming out of Wrexham this week? Number 1. Mark Howard gained a first-class honours degree from Shropshire University in professional sports writing and broadcasting. Number 2. Wrexham women won their final pre-season game 7-1 against AFC Crewe, but were 1-0 down until the 31st minute. Or number 3. James McLean is the highest rated Wrexham player in the new EA FC 24 video game.
Right. I've seen all of those on the news.
Yes.
But I don't know which one's right. I'm going to go with C, James McLean.
James McLean. Okay.
Oh, that's wrong.
Ian?
Well, I mean, this means that I will not beat Sean in the quiz if it's right, as opposed to drawing 1-1. But I think I'm going to go 3 as well, because that must be Mullin, surely.
Number 3 is the truth.
Is the false one?
No, there's 2 false, 1 true.
Oh, sorry. No. Okay. In that case, I will go a different one. I will go. What was the second one, Ryan?
The second one was Wrexham women won their final pre-season games.
Yeah, I'll go for number 2.
Number 2. Okay. You both skipped the Mark Howard one, didn't you? Why did you skip the Mark Howard one?
That Mark Howard one seems right, because he's a podcaster and all that, isn't he?
Yeah, it was a bit of a cheat, that one, because I put Shropshire University, which doesn't exist. It was Staffordshire University, so that's why that one was a lie. Wrexham AFC women went 1-0 down till the 31st minute, so James McLean is the highest rated Wrexham player in the AFC. He's rated 69, I think Mullin's 68.
Oh, only just.
So
then.
only just.
So
only
did I get 3 right?
You got 2 right.
Oh.
Unfortunately, Ian, you didn't get any. I will say that obviously last week Ian was on, and we had a problem with the recording, but Ian got a couple right last week, so I don't think this is a very fair representation of Ian this week.
I would say to the listeners and the viewers that despite me getting none right, I promised I did know something to write the book. I mean, it doesn't really augur terribly well, but anyway, there you go. You'll make your own minds up.
I did a tiebreaker this week as well.
Oh, we don't need it this week.
But we don't need it. Shall I throw it out anyway?
Throw it out.
Yeah.
And if Ian gets it right, then he can have 2 points and we'll draw.
Okay.
That's very generous. But then again, if I get it wrong, I've got none out of 6.
Okay, this is just a number. And it's the closest.
Okay.
So, we played Bromley in the FA Trophy final.
Yeah.
A couple of seasons ago. Remember that? Yeah, we went to Wembley. Pointless day out, but anyway.
It was a good day out.
What was the attendance at the game?
25... Oh, no, because... Do you mean just Wrexham fans or everybody?
No, the attendance at the game.
Oh, Christ, okay. 52,506.
52,506.
I don't know the capacity.
Ian?
So...
45,110.
That is very good, Ian. You're 1,001 out. It was 46,111. It's very, very well done. Very well. Well, Ian, thank you for joining us this week. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Again, yes.
No, it's been great to be on, and thanks for all the great work you're doing in spreading the word to so many new fans. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much to you lot for tuning in again this week. And we'll see you again next week.
Bye.